Impressed by the confidence of Subaru, Amelia hesitantly replied with a, "Oh okay, then just for a little bit, then." Subaru asked her to stand next to him. After the two of them were lined up side by side, facing away from the manor, they took deep breaths with the sun pouring down on them. Radio Calisthenics Exercise 2. Go. 1212112. What? No way. Hold your hands out in front of you and touch the sky. Follow my movements, follow me. While encouraging the puzzled Amelia, Subaru performed his homeland's famous radio calisthenics routine. In the beginning, Amelia seemed perplexed and tried imitating his movements, but she gradually became more motivated and was absorbed in the exercises with a serious look on her face. Once the exercises were over, she took a deep breath, and at the end, hold your hands up high and say, "Victory." Bye, victory. Alright, that's the spirit. Not bad for your first time. Amelia Tan is awarded the title of Calisthenics Novice. Keep up the good work. Fight. In another world, Subaru's life as a radio calisthenics instructor began. Amelia, his memorable first apprentice, exhaled with a blank look on her face at the ever-so enthusiastic Subaru. Despite what you just said, Subaru, it's true that these exercises were effective, because I can feel my mana circulating in my body. Then I hope you can spread the word, but only on the condition that the song and victory are spread too. The song and victory had to come in a package. That was non-negotiable for Subaru. Feeling pressured by Subaru's uncharacteristically serious attitude, Amelia nodded her head. Let's see, 1212. No, it's 1212. They spent some time saying 1212 to each other, but Subaru decided to write the lyrics down on paper in the end. After he reached the decision, Subaru came to the realization that the people in this world might not understand the words he wrote down. At least for now, he couldn't read the letters of this world. Maybe I should check it out later, huh? I can only write in Japanese, a little English, and some Gal characters, but... Subaru had mastered the Gal alphabet after spending a surprisingly enthusiastic amount of time learning it. Although, never actually being able to use it makes it feel like he just wasted his time. Even so, you are pretty fit, Subaru. Amelia suddenly muttered that to Subaru, who was turning his wrists and ankles and popping his joints. For Subaru, despite already having been seen naked by her, even if it were for the purpose of being treated, he couldn't help but feel embarrassed when Amelia looked at him from top to bottom. Recalling the extreme embarrassment he felt 10 minutes ago, Subaru scratched his head. Well, sort of. Since I'm a shut-in, I should at least exercise a bit. Well, I don't know what shut-in means, but I'm sure Subaru comes from a really good family. Weren't you taught martial arts? No, I'm seriously from a normal middle-class family, but where did that come from? Do I give off some noble-like elegance? You must be really curious. Subaru said, "Let's hear it," and raised his hands up in a playful manner. Then Amelia quickly grabbed both of Subaru's raised hands. The girl fiddled with his hands vigorously, and he emitted an "ah" as his throat froze up. Like these fingers, it's because of the way your skin and hair look. These hands look so different from the hands of a commoner. And these muscles don't look like they came from working. She continued to fiddle with his hands, causing him to blush constantly, but he felt satisfied regardless. Aspects about his hair and skin, and other things he had never mentioned before, were pointed out to him, and he was greatly reminded of his own foolishness. Subaru's mind was spinning at a dizzying pace as she talked about aspects of his appearance that were not usually seen among commoners here. Meanwhile, she continued, black hair and black eyes. It's a common trait among migrants from the south, and it can be seen in Luganica too. I've never seen anyone with these traits, but maybe there were some servants before. Even that outfit was made with a material I've never seen before, am I right? At the silent Subaru, Amelia smiled as if she were proud of herself. While being captivated by Amelia's beautiful appearance, Subaru nodded solemnly, and examined the content of her words. If I were to say whether it's true or not, it isn't, but how can I explain it without hurting you? Even if I'm wrong, you need to say it clearly, or I'm really going to feel embarrassed. It's all good. I don't mind. I've been showing a lot of ignorance for some reason or another. How about we just be friends and be embarrassed together? I don't remember our relationship being so close that we can casually embarrass each other without fear. I'm not making any progress by speculating, so I'm just going to ask you frankly. Where did you come from, Subaru? A question that blew the shame and outrageousness of the situation away, and Subaru could only think, Subaru felt like he could honestly say, I was summoned from another world, here, but saying he was summoned from another world would make him sound like a crazy person. In a world full of opportunities, a crazy person would not be thrown out, but looking at the seriousness of Amelia in front of him, Subaru had a feeling he'd get turned into an ice statue if he gave a poor answer. So, I guess it's best to go with deflection plan B here. It's really disgusting to be muttering like that. You're not going to answer my question. I do have an answer for that. And it's super. But unfortunately, I don't have the answers to these questions, because I have amnesia and don't know anything about myself. You said your name was Natsuki Subaru. Oh, shit. You're not letting up. You keep pushing forward without wavering. So, you're not going to give me a straight answer. Well, I won't try to pry if you don't want to answer. Amelia surprisingly let Subaru off the hook without much trouble while he was engrossed in his thoughts about her behavior. She let out a single word, now, and took out a green crystal that was attached to her blouse. Oh, it's a crystal for spirits to inhabit. You already know about Puck, right? As he said it, Subaru took advantage of his newfound rights and continued to play with Puck in Amelia's palm to his heart's content, starting with his belly, then his chin, and his ears too. Wow, these ears are amazing. I can't get enough of this fluffiness. The great thing about Subaru is that he's serious. I can read your mind vaguely, so I can tell, Puck said with amusement as he played freely with his fingers. Amelia gave a distinct sigh of dismay at their playfulness. It's so tiring trying to understand you, Subaru. You can't give up. Things in life, like interpersonal relationships, are built on a spirit of mutual understanding. But don't think it'll be easy to understand me, alright? What's that? This is really frustrating, Amelia replied. Subaru folded his arms and turned his face away while looking at Amelia with one eye open. Seeing her attitude, which showed her displeasure, Subaru made his mind up about the future. And then she saved Puck from Subaru's barrage of petting attacks. With a light wave of her hand, she turned her feet toward the outskirts of the garden. Well, I'll go talk to the spirits now then, and Subaru, can you go over there and weed quietly? Alright. Weeding is so exciting, so I'll do my best. But I didn't come down to the garden to do that, right? I'm kidding, he said, laughing as he watched her silver hair disappear into the distance. Then Subaru got on the ground before doing some exercises. Subaru had already completed his morning exercises, so other than that, he can still do his daily muscle workout regime. After having skipped yesterday, it would make sense for him to do 2 days worth of exercises to make up for it. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats. This was the type of workout regime Subaru did every day at home even though he was a shut-in living with his parents. Sometimes he would even swing a sword, or something similar, but he would mostly just do those 3 sets of exercises. In the meantime, Subaru did push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, all while sweating profusely. After resting for a bit, Subaru did another round of exercises. Doing each set of exercises only took around 10 minutes, but he was very serious about his training and would do them every day. I feel like I'm missing something. If only I had a wooden sword or something to train with. Here, sir. Please use it, sir. Out of nowhere, the maid sisters appeared and handed Subaru a wooden sword. Stunned by their thoughtfulness, he accepted it with a respectful, thank you, and just as swiftly as they had appeared, they vanished without a trace. Regardless, he now had exactly what he had wished for, a wooden sword to train with. The weapon's shape resembled the two-handed swords commonly used in this world, slightly different from what he was accustomed to. But a sword was a sword. No matter its shape, material, or size, the fundamentals remained the same. He gave it a light swing to test the weight. It felt just right. Thank God for all-in-one maids. Anyway, I haven't swung a sword in ages, so let's go. Ready, and swing. Ready, and swing. Subaru had only been a member of the Kendo Club in middle school, but he has stayed long enough to earn his first Dan, a graded rank proving his proficiency. While far from a master, he was competent enough to make progress through practice. He continued swinging over and over, and to his surprise, his form was still as sharp as it had been back in the club. This is a fantasy world where magic is used alongside swords. I wonder if this will even be useful. As he trained, sweat trickled down his forehead like a waterfall, dripping onto the lawn. His mind drifted back to the battle at the stolen goods warehouse. I was trying to hold her back, slashing over and over, using only a wooden fragment to keep the blades at bay. I did my best, but there's a world of difference between a kendo kid who barely scraped by with a rank, and an assassin who might eat nails and wood chips for breakfast. He could still see Elsa in his mind, clashing blade against blade, sparks flying. Subaru imagined himself stepping forward with a two-handed sword in hand. Take this, Elsa. Your evil acts end here. He lunged forward for a strike, only to be instantly cut down, a blade slashing across his gut. He tried again. Suddenly, clink. The faint sound of rings rattling echoed in his mind. Subaru paused, thinking. That sound, I heard it when I was close to death. He gripped the wooden sword tighter, staring at it in silence. Is it even worth the effort? Well, carrying the wooden sword on his shoulder, Subaru paused in order to look over at Amelia to check how she was doing. He could see that she was sitting on the green grass with her feet sprawled out in front of her, and talking about something with Puck, who was on her arm. Subaru thought that the person she was talking to was Puck. However, if my eyes aren't deceiving me, it looks like Amelia Tan is surrounded by dim lights. Within the reach of the seated silver-haired girl, Subaru could see that the space was enveloped in a hazy, faint glow. Around her, dim multicolored lights were floating around and flickering like the light of a firefly. It was a mysterious and fantastic sight to behold. It wasn't a scene that mortals should tread upon. It was like a sanctuary for the divine where only heavenly beings were allowed entry. Wow, this is amazing. So are all these fluffy things spirits then? Huh? Subaru casually spoke to Amelia while she was talking to the spirits as if it were the most natural thing to do. Amelia couldn't help but be surprised by Subaru's sudden appearance, and her eyes moistened with tears as if they were responding to her astonishment. And her sudden change in feeling spread to the spirits around her. Oh, I'm in trouble now. Many dim lights could be seen fluttering from side to side, trying to move behind Amelia in an attempt to escape from Subaru's view. Subaru felt as if he had made a flock of pigeons flee from him in a park. You are amazing, Subaru. Normally it'd take a lot of courage to even try to touch a spirit, Puck said. So you're saying, you're lucky to have me around, right? I know. I can't imagine my life without you. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Subaru ambushed Puck, who was still on Amelia's arm, which had stiffened in response to his actions, and began his tickle attack. While doing so, he tilted his head towards her, who was still speechless, and enjoyed the feeling of her silver hair with his fingers. What's the matter? Your insignia will get stolen again if you aren't careful. Don't poke people where it hurts. That's not what I meant. I was just super surprised. Amelia blamed Subaru for her own shortcomings while wiping away her tears with her fingers. The spirits swayed up and down as if agreeing with her, and Amelia replied with, well, aren't you all in a good mood? While watching the reaction of the spirits. Wheel, this is the first time seeing a spirit in my life, so it's a bit exciting for me. They didn't look dangerous to me, either. I was keeping them under control, so it was okay. If it were an inexperienced spirit arts user, they would cause the spirits to run away and, bam. Amelia tried to scare them with her voice, but she only managed to get let out at bam at the end of her sentence, as if her vocabulary wasn't broad enough to find a better word to use. Subaru listened intently and ended up shrugging, and then looked over at Puck. Totally exaggerating, huh? What's so dangerous about a fluffy-looking light like that? For example, I could turn you into dust in a matter of seconds. I'm so sorry if I offended you. Subaru dived into a prostrating position and expressed his gratitude. Puck laughed with a wave of his little hand, and Amelia pouted her lips due to the difference in treatment. Why don't you treat me like that? Hey, Puck. Is it the difference in age? He replied calmly, stroking his beard. Amelia sighed and gave up on pursuing the issue, perhaps due to how calm and gentle Puck was.